I really want to ask you about today is this concept of sleep hacking, because, well, sleep hacking, it says, oh, sleep hacking. It sounds dangerous.
So you don't sleep at all. So
okay.
1 hour. There's something with
1 hour. Oh my goodness. So tell me, what is sleep hacking?
It's not. It's a joke.
What is sleep hacking? What do you mean by sleep hacking?
Okay, so the hacking here is not about taking your sleep and hacking in the small pieces so you don't sleep at all. That's not about that, because nobody wants that, right? Nobody wants that. So so what we need, sleep hacking is about. Just a second. Ну тогда выключи звук и садись сюда. Okay, again, I'm sorry. So, sleep hacking, that's about how to adjust your sleep in a way that you are getting, actually, when you wake up, you're full of energy. When you wake up, you can be sure, and you can almost feel it, that your cells have regenerated during the night. And it's a very nice feeling. When you get up, you can get up naturally by your biological clock, or you can get help from the clock. But when you get up, you wake up, and it's like, oh, new day, nice. And this is a very strong thing. That's what I experienced first time. When I experienced it first time after having worked with my breathing first, a lot with my breathing, and I saw that I don't need to sleep anymore. I mean, a long time. I used to sleep like 8 hours, then 7 hours, and 6 hours, and it was like, oh, I've been getting up very easily. And now I sleep 4.5 hours, and that's enough for me. So I get up every morning about 4:30, between 4:30. Sometimes I get up 3:30 actually, because when I go to sleep at 11, then I can get up 3:30. So 4.5 hours of sleep, it's enough.
What time do you go to bed?
Well, it can be at 11 o'clock, it can be 12 o'clock. If I go at 11 o'clock, I know that I can get up at 3:30, at 4. So it's easy, and I have very stable energy through the day. Sometimes I get a nap, 20 minutes nap during the day. It's very nice when you have a hard program. Then it's very, very nice. It gives you lots of energy. Just 20 minutes, not more. So today we're gonna talk about what is actually possible to work with, and why we know when we're talking about sleep, everybody's talking about you have to sleep at least 7 hours or 8 hours.
Yeah.
Why? The most of the research that is going, they have this idea that we have to explain why they have to sleep 7 hours. And nobody's really with research, not a lot of people at least, talking about how we can optimize sleep, the quality of sleep.
Everyone talks about quantity, don't they? Everyone talks about the quantity of sleep.
We're talking about quantity of sleep. Did I say it wrong? Well,
no, you said it
right.
Yeah,
everybody's talking about the quantity of sleep and not the quality of sleep. Guys, please tell me, can you hear us? Because Elizabeth is asking if you can hear anything.
No,
now I got the message. Yes, it's working.
Terry? Okay. Not a problem. So So the quality of sleep is far more important than the quantity of sleep. But how exactly how can you quantify that? How do you judge the quality of sleep?
We can talk a little bit about the science about it, and we can talk about the lifestyle change that there's evidence for can help. Compressing the sleep and optimizing the sleep. Should we start with the science or with the evidence? Who's voting for the evidence?
Yeah, I'll go for the evidence.
Okay. We have Democrats here, very, very big Democrats. So nobody voted, only 2 voted. So we go with the evidence, right? So the evidence is, for example, when we're talking about, I hear a lot of people talking on the video, for example, on YouTube, and talking about sleep hacking. And they are like experts in sleep hacking, and they say that they eat maybe last time at 9 or 10, and not like saying don't eat later than 9. And that's a part of sleep hacking. I say, well, if that's a boundary, that's not a good one, because when I work with sleep hacking, when I work with people that have terminal illnesses, some of them. So to optimize sleep, it's a matter of saving the life. So I know how sleep hacking works by extending the time between the last meal, and when I say the last meal, it's the last thing you put in your mouth that has nutritional value. Meaning,
so tea
is okay, water is okay, coffee is actually also okay. Without milk, without fat, without cream. So when you just put a little piece of chocolate or a little cream in the tea you are drinking after you have eaten the last meal, for example, at 7 o'clock. But if you're drinking the tea with milk or with, let's say, with cream at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, then you have to start again. So the time between you go to sleep and your last meal, meaning anything of nutritional value put in your mouth, that has the biggest influence. So when the time is, for example, let's say when my client joins my program one-to-one or the course, and they ask me maybe how to work with the sleep, and I know that now he's eating or she's eating last time at 9. I say, okay, we start by first going into ketosis, because ketosis, that's the state where we start burning fats. And when we're adapted to burn fats, we are not hungry anymore, not in a way that when we are eating carbs. So that's the smart thing, because I don't want people to suffer. It has to be an organic way. You see, an organic way, we have to have build a process which the parts are kind of helping each other in promoting, the progress in health. So when they are in ketosis, for example, they're burning fats, they're not hungry anymore, not a lot. So they can actually tolerate without pain, without suffering, eating last time at 6. No problem at all. They're just not hungry anymore. And what's happening is there's some, and then they're eating maybe last time when they are more adapted. We have different ways, different levels of adaptation to fat burning, for example. And the more you are fat adapted, the more energy you get from the same amount of food. No spillage, no spill. So what's happening is, excuse me, what do you say, Steve?
Yeah, so it's again, this is a bit counterintuitive. I'm being English, and I wonder how many people who are watching this are English. We grew up in an environment where we were encouraged to drink something called Horlicks, which is a malt-based drink taken with milk immediately before you go to bed to get a good night's sleep. And it's like, okay, so what you're saying is that no nourishment should pass your lips from so many hours before you go to bed to be able to get
because
good
it's
night's
simple.
sleep.
Like it's
so,
it's actually just how do you call it? Simple, no sense. How do you call it? Simple truth, or either you are in catabolic state or anabolic state.
Oh, you better explain
either
that,
you are using energy to recuperate, to detoxify the cell. Exactly. Catabolic. Or you are using energy to digest. Anabolic. Yeah.
Anabolic.
So,
and that's at cellular level. That's not just
that's a common sense, right? And that's what we as engineers, we use. Common sense. So what's happening is the night is this time of day, this time of the 24 hours, where we regenerate on cellular level. And in order to regenerate fully on cellular level, we have different mechanisms. It's called autophagy, autophagocytosis, autophagy in English. Autophagy meaning that the cell is actually eating the content of the protein, debris, different kind of toxins that are actually placed in the cell itself. So it's got self-eating, autophagy, autophagocytosis, eating themselves. So, and that's actually what detoxification is on the cellular level. There's a different kind of autophagies. Some of them are starting half an hour after the last meal. So that would be okay for the eating last time at 11 and then going to sleep. But there are also something is happening 2 hours before. But the strongest autophagy, it's called CMA, chaperone-mediated autophagy. It's actually that can help us also kill cancer, that is used in different anti-cancer protocols. It starts about 10 hours after the last meal. And when we're saying last meal, that's also a little piece of chocolate or coffee with cream, because that's fat. And fat, that's a macronutrients. We're talking about macronutrients here. That's a, that's the protein, fat, and carbohydrates, carbs. Okay? So, look, if you eat at 11 and then you go to sleep at 12, there's no way you get detoxification on the cellular level. That's why people are doing different things, like different kind of juices that are being said that detoxify the body. They don't, because it's about it's like cellular biology, physiology. Nothing tells that the juice made makes it exactly. But if you are
a process thing, it's not content thing.
For example, eating at 6 last time, then some part of the night you are actually sleeping a lot better, because your body is not digesting food anymore, so it's not working. And it's also connected with, people say we work with the brain is not really relaxing, because it's actually working. 90% of the cells in the neural system that's located in the gut. So when we are digesting food, the gut is functioning, and the brain is functioning. The brain is not recuperating. The brain is not detoxifying. The brain is not really in the in the state of regaining health during the night if your guts are working, your peristaltics are active. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like that.
Can I ask a question? I've got a question.
How?
But if you
I don't hear you.
If you're eating carbs,
say it again.
Don't eat from say 5 or 6 o'clock. Really?
Yeah, try to say it again, yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
If you're eating carbs, then if you stop eating at 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, in the evening, you will be so hungry by midnight that you won't be able to sleep because you have hunger
and
pangs.
You will not actually be able to really fast. Very likely you will break the fast because you will feel very hungry and you will feel like mentally you cannot go to sleep because you're just hungry. Your thoughts are a different place than sleeping.
Okay, so it's also got something to do with stress as well, because when you're stressed, you feel hungry. But tell me, we're also told very much about the different phases of sleep, the rapid eye movement sleep and everything. And how does sleep hacking fit in with REM sleep and the other sorts of sleep?
Very good question.
Things like this.
Let's talk about it. Guys, right now, I want to tell you that, and I always tell this, and I will always tell this. Be inquisitive. Allow me, please, to write this. Steve, are you ready to write your part, please? Now? There's no stupid questions. And Steve,
what do I write? Be inquisitive.
Type it in. So, guys, I want you to ask questions here. So that's why that's an open session, and we have both people here that are attending our course. It's a 50 weeks Lifesaver course towards health and resilience. And also it's an open part of the course because you see there's some people here that are not attending our course, and that's free, and that's because we want you to know what we are doing, and we want to inspire you too. So everybody here is allowed to ask stupid questions. I love stupid questions because every time I hear a stupid question, I understand that there's many different aspects of how you can look at it. So no stupid questions. I see Elizabeth is with us again. Elizabeth, please. Yes. Hear us. Oh.
Can you hear us, Elizabeth? Oh.
Yes, so it's working, and I have another person that told me
we can hear each other, so
sound. So it's a pity you Elizabeth. Please find out about these. Elizabeth is a part of our course, and she's getting 3 videos a week about different health items, and the 1 audio file with some nudging. We had some problems actually last week. I hope Elizabeth can found out about these problems, but doesn't matter. Now, guys, we're going to talk about what this is very good. A very good question Steve had about how does it work with the different, yeah. So let me see if it works. I just had a very good. Let's see if we can look at from the from my iPhone. I actually don't know if it works. It would be really great. Just a second. I have somewhere here. Yeah. Let's see if it's possible. It's not possible, right? You see?
That's it.
Hey, look, this is how when I do the when I do the teaching, very often I take this kind of things. And what you see here, actually, it's the you see,
Yeah.
that's the hours. Okay. The lowest part of it, the lowest part, that's the hours.
Yeah.
When you go to sleep, and there's how the different phases of sleep, and the ventilation of the lungs, the minute ventilation of the lungs, and the measurement of optimization of cellular oxygenation, how they work together. I will not use it now because you cannot, it's pretty hard to, I have to find out actually, maybe I should take the whiteboard sometimes for this in these sessions. But you can see it, okay? So the lower one, that's the sleep phases. So
you can see
what is happening here? That's
okay.
I'm going to try to talk to it. So let's say when you go to sleep, we have 5 different phases of sleep. 5. We have something called REM sleep, rapid eye movement, and we have 2 stages of shallow sleep, and we have 2 stages of deep sleep. Okay, and you see, we start with when we go to sleep, we have these rapid eye movements, and then we go into first phase of sleep, and then second phase of sleep, and then we go every time we go a little bit up into the every cycle. It's about between 60 minutes and 2 hours. It goes like it cycles through the REM sleep, which is which you almost awake, and you are rapid eye movements, and then you go to shallow sleep and then deep sleep for 30-40 minutes, and then you go up through the shallow phases of sleep into REM, and like that it goes through the whole night, almost through the whole night. And here is a very, very interesting aspect, that we are in deep sleep phases, and that's the phase 3 and 4, only for about 4 hours, between 3 and 4 hours during the whole night. The less optimal your sleep is, the less deep sleep you get. Because you cannot really, because of the brain function, because you have eaten, for example, or you have some kind of stress. And when you have eaten, for example, there's a less likely that you go into the phases of deep sleep, because it requires that your brain is fully regenerated. It's in the catabolic state. Okay. And when your intestines are all the time communicating with the brain, doesn't get sleep. So what you asked? What you?
Yeah, what comes first? Is the restitution of the brain dependent on the state, on whether the catabolic switch is on, or if or is it that the sleep allows you to get into that state where the brain is relaxing? What comes first, chicken egg? Because we're told that you need to get into this deep sleep for the brain to regenerate.
Yeah, but the thing is,
from what I hear,
why this deep sleep is interesting. That's exactly what you say, because in the phase 3 and 4 of sleep, that's where the cells regenerate. They don't regenerate in the shallow sleep, in the phase 1 and 2, and they surely don't regenerate in the REM, and that's because excuse me.
Okay, but why? If you're going for a 1.5 hour cycle and you hit this deep sleep in that cycle, why can't you just carry on? Why don't you just carry on, you know, not ad infinitum, but if you were left asleep without any alarm clocks or noise or anything, why don't you sleep? Why don't we sleep for 12 hours and do about 6 or 7 of these cycles?
There's a lot of interesting things about it. It's about physiology, the biorhythms, the circadian rhythms, the rhythm of the sun and of the light, actually. And what it does, it has a very, very tight connection with cardiovascular system. It has a very, very tight connection with blood pressure. And the blood pressure rises after, guess what? About 4:30 and 5. What happens actually when you are in very bad state of health and you are just about, well, some people that just about to die, they are in some home for elderly, for example, where the people die normally, that's the early morning hours. You have to remember that, because people die between 4 and 6. Some research saying that die between 5 and 7. But that's where the blood pressure rises, the heart rate rises, but because the heart muscle has to use some oxygen. Because the people that are in this state, they have very, very bad health. So the gas balance is very bad in the lungs. And the balance between carbon dioxide and oxygen is abnormal, meaning that carbon dioxide is very low and oxygen is still high, but carbon dioxide is low. When carbon dioxide is very low, and that's like 3.5% carbon dioxide in the blood, and 3, it's the minimum that we can tolerate between the heart stops, between the heart fibers, for the heart fibers lack oxygen to function properly. And that's what happens. So with this risk we have in the morning hours. So what's happening for the people? They are dying because the blood pressure rises because of circadian rhythms. You cannot control it. And that's where our health actually deteriorates. There's not a lot of research about this, but there's a lot of evidence. There's a lot of evidence that when people start to hack the sleep by, for example, eating right, having the right timing of meals, drinking not together with meals, but 2 hours or 1 hour before or 2 hours later, for example, it has a very, very big influence on quality of sleep. Not eating together with, not drinking together with food, the last meal and the other meals of the day. When you are moving during the day enough and in the right way, not too much, then you are optimizing your sleep. And that's how it is. It's not about the length of sleep. It's about the quality of sleep. That's why when we optimize our life on the bright time of day, when the sun is shining, then we actually optimize our sleep too. And if we do it smartly, that's what I call sleep hacking. It's not just setting your wake up clock to 4:30. You will not get anything from that because you will just be tired if you don't match the prerequisites for this.
There are factors, aren't there? There are other factors involved. I mean, if you've done very heavy physical work the day before, the night before, and your muscles are really tired. I mean, I tend to sleep better when I've done a good day's work out in the fresh air.
The right kind of movement and the right amount of movement. Not too much, not too little. And it has to be adjusted too. That's why I work with my one-to-one clients. We have time really to adjust everything. So really we establish with very, very small steps a very good process. And in this course, we have 50 weeks to do that. That's why I want you to ask and be inquisitive, because this is a part of our learning, guys. I want you to ask questions.
Yeah, but if you know where it's not clear for me, hopefully for other people, is you say that around 4:30 or so, the blood pressure rises due to circadian rhythms. Incidentally, I heard that humans tend to wake up first when the temperature is lowest in the night. There's maybe something to do with it. But why is there like this danger zone? What's going on there that we seem to have this? You know, it goes against nature that our blood pressure should rise, but our carbon dioxide levels go down. So what exactly is happening now? Why do our carbon dioxide
I will start to talk.
Go down?
Tell that right now I have a very, very interesting person as my guest here at my house. Mariam, she's a doctor and cardiologist. She's a researcher from Russia. She's a cardiologist. We're working together, and a very, very interesting conversation we have. And we've been talking actually a lot about this. And she told me there's also pathology. There's not everybody that has this like 10 to 22% of blood pressure at night is 2 to 22% lower than in daytime. Okay, she told me that's very interesting. That she worked with this kind of things as a cardiologist, and she said also that there's a pathologies, and like there's something called the overdippers, and that's people that well, the blood pressure dips more than 22%, and they have the same. It's called non-dippers. It's no blood pressure changes, but that's a pathology. And there's also at night higher than the day. It's night peakers. Okay, so that's the that's very, very different things. So so it's not everybody are like that. But when it is said that the most people, the problem is, that's because when the blood pressure rise, it's connected with the automatic regulation of minute ventilation, and that's what we call hyperventilation. So what start? So why people die? Because when the blood pressure rise and pulse, it's connected with the ventilation patterns of the lungs.
But is that a mechanical thing, or is it you know, biological thing? I mean, I guess when you first, I mean, everyone does it. I don't think anyone would deny that what happens is you go to sleep, you think you sleep deeply, and you sort of half wake up. And some people use the opportunity; they might go to the bathroom or something, but you sort of half wake up, and then you go back, and you kind of, you know, the tendency is to lay on your back.
Exactly.
And then
that's what is interesting.
Dreaming, you know, some of the most vivid
after
dreams
4.5, that's now we're binding it
Yeah.
together. You see, after 4:30, there's no occurrences of deep sleep anymore. And what's happening? We are going into the shallow deep stages, 1, 2, and very often into the REM. And that's where we dream. And because we dream very often, very vivid things, we need to kind of how do you call it? Work with the things that was stressful. So very often that's connected. But what triggers what? I think that's the part of the answer. That's actually Professor Buteyko. We work with optimization of breathing. And Professor Buteyko, that's optimization of automatical breathing patterns 24/7, a retraining of normal automatic breathing patterns. He actually started his work at 53. He made this discovery that it's actually possible to retrain. So he said that sleep, the dreams is a pathology. You know, the real, when you are getting up early and when you are refreshed and when you optimize your sleep, there's no dreams. And that's what I experience. I'm not dreaming. I'm sleeping 4.5 hours. I'm not dreaming at all.
But some people would say, no, but some people would say that dreaming has a very important function in that it's allowing your brain, that's when your brain is regenerating.
No, but it's, you know what?
Not at cellular level,
you know,
but at
it's
a
only regenerating
psychological
because
level.
it has no other choice
dreams
to regenerate in different ways. That's why. So people, I also have had a lot of books about sleep. I've been also working with sleep very much, and I thought it was a very, very, you know, with dreams, excuse me. You know, I'm trying to understand the dreams and trying to, but then I understood. It's like working with the mental training by saying to a person, okay, you have to learn to take your negative thoughts and try to change it to the positive thinking. You know what? I've been working as a mental trainer for athletes and for artists, like professional artists on stage that have stage fright. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. When you are under real stress, it doesn't work. It feels, when it feels like you are dying, it doesn't work. The only things you can use that lies on the physical level, that you train as a muscle. And what we train as a muscle, that's what we're doing in this 50 weeks program. We train mental strength as a muscle with the helps of the muscle, actually, relaxation of different muscle groups. And that works also for martial arts athletes. And that will also work for you. And that's why when we work with hacking the sleep, not necessarily with understanding our dreams, it still works. And it works actually stronger because it's on a cellular level. That's physical. There's no need to try to understand your dreams because you will be mentally strong without understanding your dreams. You will be able to sleep all of this and really be sensitive to your own body. What we really train, we're trained two things that are crucial. People don't understand physiology because there's so many different views on this. We have a view, we have a real kind of, we're taking the latest science, we're connecting the dots together. So we understanding, it's not me that are making discoveries. That's a very, very interesting people that I'm working with, that I'm learning from, but I'm connecting the dots. They are specialists. I'm learning from them, and I'm connecting their dots together as an engineer. And then the second thing is the lack of sensitivity. And that's because we tend to override the signals that our body is giving us. And that's the real sensitivity. That's to be sensitive towards your own body. Then you will be able to be sensitive towards the other bodies. You know, your many good things will gain energy from this. Good karma. Your relationship with your fiancé, with your girlfriend, with your boyfriend, with your children, with your parents, with your colleagues on work, with your bosses, with your customers, everything. Because when you get sensitive, your sensitivity is higher, and you get more empathic. You can sense other people, not think and analyze other people. We have enough of that in our life, really. And then connecting feelings with thoughts. That's, you know, this blend is like a Molotov cocktail of mental training. Don't do this. You don't try this at home or at your work. Just connect to your body, sense your belly, relax. And what I'm working with is called progressive active relaxation. That's a technique from the martial arts. It's strong. In martial arts, in samurai legacy, they call, for example, meditation with closed eyes, sitting, they call for dead silence. But they used to meditate in movement with open eyes.
Okay.
Living silence.
So what? Okay, let's go back to sleep. So if someone hears about your sleep hacking, and they hear 4.5 hours sleep, and their immediate reaction would be, wow, that is sleep deprivation. But what you're saying is that none of the negative effects of sleep deprivation, I mean, let's face it, if you sleep 4.5 hours a night, and you've done so for the past, I don't know, year or something, you would not be able, if you were deprived of sleep, we would not be able to have this conversation.
Just to let you understand what's happening. I'm sleeping for 4.5 hours a day, normally 4.5 hours a day. And I get up at 4:30 and I start actually working. I'm doing a workout, I'm training, I'm playing tennis, I'm at tennis court at 7 o'clock. I have the first, I'm working from 9 with two of my partners. And then I'm having one-to-one clients that's coming both from different places in the world, from Canada to England and Russia and actually Hawaii. So, and then I have the sessions here, and then I go to sleep at 12. And then I walk twice a day, long tours in the forest with my dog. And I also see my friends. So, and I've been doing like this many years. So, it's not sleep deprivation. And you see another thing together with that. You have to know that the immunity will be like that. I have not been sick for 8 years since I really started to work with my breathing, and then I have not been sick. And I work with sick people. Both when I started taking music, teaching music with my clients, and many sick children coming at my place and everything. I have not have influenza for 8 years, and I sleep for 4.5 hours. So there's something right here, and I'm using these techniques actually to help people recuperate from cancer. So,
okay. I mean, from my point of view, and I don't know whether other people agree with it, but my point of view is like many of the things in your protocol. You can go to different websites, you can go to Macau, you can go to other ones, and see those things listed. Intermittent fasting, keto, breathing, etc. And then you come to sleep, and then the wheels come off because the sleep. If you go to Joseph McCullough's site, he says you've got to get 8 nights.
The problem is they're
sleep,
specialists,
otherwise,
and that's a very big value. But they have to talk together in order to understand each other's points. It has to be multifunctional research, but there's no multifunctional research.
No, because of the finance of the research, and the research gets very, very specialized. So no one's connecting the dots in the medical profession as you are using an engineering.
What we really need, that's the interdisciplinary research, interdisciplinary and multifunctional research, and that's what I'm doing. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist in this way, but yes, I am a scientist. I'm an integrative health engineer. I have an MSc in engineering, so I am an engineer, and I have worked with health for a long time now, and that's what interests me. I'm breathing for this.
But you're not. The other thing about the research is that if you persuade people to change their breathing patterns, their sleep patterns, then there's no potential. You can't patent that. You can't make money out of it.
It's not sponsored by anybody. There's no medicine involved.
Because there's no money.
We're just doing with very small steps, understand where to start and how to proceed.
But it's very interesting. But what's very interesting about it, Misha, is this: that if corporations woke up to this and they realized that, I mean, look, you get up at 4:30 and then you're doing all this stuff and everything, that productivity levels would go up. If the military understood this, then they get much more effective soldiers. Because I know in the British Army, for example, that you sleep wherever and whenever you can, which, from what you're telling me, can't be healthy. It can't be good just to, grab 2 hours here, wake up, 1 hour here, wake up.
That's the whole idea. We cannot just sleep 4.5 hours. If we don't get deep sleep for 4 hours, it doesn't work. And how do we get deep sleep for 4 hours or like that? Not for 4 hours, because there's maybe 3 periods of sleep in these 4.5 hours. So there's both first stage, second stage, and REM, a lot of it. But if we have 3 periods that are including third and fourth stage of sleep, you know what? That's a very, very good thing. That's very powerful. And that's what we're working on.
That's right. But the implications for education, for example, that students understood this, that instead of feeling sleepy all day long and groggy and perhaps going to bed at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and not having a very good night's rest, but they, because they're munching on pizzas, computer programs, for example, eating pizzas and everything until 2 o'clock in the morning and then going to sleep. The implications for education are huge. So any students out there, any students who are on university courses or what have you, listen and learn.
Totally,
because this might revolutionize your learning abilities.
It requires a lot. It requires understanding, ability to listen, the will to learn, and then the willpower to stick with what we do. And then you just have to make a decision. But this course is probably for 1% of the population, because who wants this? Maybe 2, 3, maybe 5. I hope maybe 10. I don't know, but for sure, I don't know. Not the most of the population, because people want easy magic bullets. There's nothing called magic bullet. There's only awareness and work. And that's what we give you a possibility for. 50 weeks of awareness and work with nudging and lots of questions. So please ask questions, be inquisitive, because otherwise we don't learn. We have to ask questions. There's no stupid questions. Please, come on, guys.
I just want to say something here, because as you know, I'm following protocol as I would. I used to play a lot of squash, and I had back problems, right? And up until about a year ago, when I started the breathing and started the diet, I did not have good sleep, because it meant that I had to roll over from side to side every half an hour. So every half an hour, my sleep was disturbed. Yeah, I had to roll over.
Yeah.
Not only that, because I was eating a lot of carbohydrates at the time, I was snoring. Mm-hmm. My wife was also waking me up because I was snoring, right? And I was dreaming a lot. And what I want to say now is that when I go to bed about 11:30, 12 o'clock, midnight, I put my head on the pillow. The next second, it seems to me, it's 5:30. I think, what happened there? And it's absolutely true. I could verify this, that, my wife said, oh, you can't work with such little sleep. But I don't sleep. Yeah, occasionally if I've been swimming or something, I have a little sleep because my muscles are tired. But mentally, I'm alert. And I think this thing about having chronic, I thought I had chronic pain, because I thought, oh my goodness, this is, this pain where I have to roll over. I couldn't lie on one hip for more than half an hour at a time. I had to roll over. What sort of sleep was I getting? I don't do that now. Now I'm out. It doesn't matter. I can sleep on the floor, sleep anywhere.
It creates a very strong,
because the combination of diet, breathing, exactly. exactly. It's very, and I wouldn't have believed it if you'd have told me this 3 or 4 years ago. I was really having some problems. You know, I had to, so as not to disturb my wife, I had to go and sit in a chair, sitting up to sleep. Of course, my windpipe to close, and then waking up in a funny way. So I haven't really had a good sleep for 15, 20 years, I must say.
Exactly.
And now I'm getting older, but
and that's the thing. What sleep. I see with my sleep, you know,
no headaches
when I get,
anymore.
lay down on the left side. I put actually a very, very good thing. I put a pillow between my legs. I bent my legs slightly and I put a pillow between my legs. I found out that it helps me for a very, very good night's sleep. And when I wake up, I wake up always exactly in the same position. Yeah, that's very,
amazing because, yeah, that is absolutely amazing. But I tell you what, sometimes, I mean, I still have a few mental problems and a critical wife, you know, about this 5 hours sleep. So what I find I want to do is when I get up at 5:30 and think, hell, you know, what am I doing? It's Saturday morning or Sunday morning. I mean, what do you do at 5:30? I put some tape over my mouth again. And can you explain why that is a way? It's a workaround for sleeping too short, is putting a tape over your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. What happening
it stops me doing something, right?
We tend to people tend to sleep on your back, and I love sleep on my back because that's a very nice position. But unfortunately, that's also the position where you're most likely to hyperventilate because of that's like your ribs, how they work. They cannot only work one direction. So when you lie here, because they only work like that, so you cannot draw air by the higher parts of the lungs. So you are forced to breathe with lower parts of the lungs when you breathe. Exactly, when you lie on the side, yeah. So actually, less likely to hyperventilate. You can actually also hyperventilate still there, but you are very, very much less likely to hyperventilate. And the other thing, when you lie on the back, you see your jaws are very, very strong. When you relax in your jaw muscles, then it falls down, and you start hyperventilating because you open the mouth. When you lie on the left side is better than right side. There's a lot of different things about the stomach configuration because our intestines are not completely symmetric. They're not symmetric at all. It's something about lungs, and we're going to talk about this. Doesn't matter, but just remember, left side is better side to sleep on. Don't sleep on your back. And if you want, I really say, do this when you sleep. It will make you a happier person, and also the people that are you living with, it will make you happier.
Okay, I've got another question here. Some people are forced because their jobs, you know, I'm thinking about nurses, doctors, and what have you, to work night shifts. So what is your advice in incorporating sleep hacking if you're night shift? Because we're talking about circadian rhythms. If you are on night shift and you first go to bed at 8 o'clock in the morning, can you still achieve sleep hacking even though it breaks your circadian rhythm?
That's a very, very good question. And I would like actually to say that I'm not ready to answer this. I don't know enough about this, but
okay.
I think it's possible, yes. And if you are shifting your day, but it has to be the best thing will be that you follow this for the most of the week at least. So you get. That's the hard thing. I know that's the hard thing, but it has to be tried. I really would like to ask people if people have any experience with this.
Okay. And what about first of all, insomniacs, people who can't sleep? Obviously, undertaking the protocol, not eating, de-stressing, what have you, helps against insomnia. But what about people who are regularly taking either a natural or another sort of sedative? I mean, they must be seriously affecting, especially drugs, painkillers, things like this.
Very much.
They must be affecting sleep.
The advice is
sleep rhythm.
to try to start some kind of a life-changing process that will make you non-dependent of this. But you have to cooperate with your doctor too, because I don't work. I'm not a doctor, and I cannot give you advice, medical advice. But when your symptoms, when you go to the 50 weeks program like ours, when your system is getting better and better and better, your symptoms are getting better and better and better. You go to the doctor and you say, please advise me with lower amount medication. So that's going to be organic. That's going to be a natural way of doing that, for sure. And if you have any experience with sleep hacking, with like very, very abrupt sleeping patterns, like, for example, night shifts and things like that, I would like to hear if you have good experience how to do that. That's I would say you have to really work with the environment. You know, that making a very, very good environment. When you get to sleep, you have to ensure that you're gonna go into the deep sleep, and that's by using double blinds on completely black, because you have to, in a way, you have to mask for your brain that it's daytime. So you have to, like, the curtains has to be very heavy, no light at all, no light at all. That's how you will be able to get into a deep sleep. The air have to be very good. There have to be no carpets in this room. Okay, the air quality has to be very good. You have to have a very good bed. It has to be maybe inclined bed. You get I sleep in a bed with 5% inclination, and it's fantastic. With memory foam, there's a lot of different things. We're going to work with sleep hacking. So now, guys, 1959. That's the last possibility for the questions. Oh,
any questions? Because I've got a stupid question for you. You say you can drink tea, something with no nutritional value, treat and everything like that. But what about alcohol? What about a glass of wine before you go to bed?
But I love whiskey. You know, sometimes
whiskey or something.
I also enjoy whiskey. I used to enjoy a lot. And I love the real good Scotch. Life is too short with blended whiskey, you know. So I it's called you know this law. It's called 80-20. It's also called Pareto distribution, and that's about making exceptions.
Yeah.
And the 20%, that's the exceptions. When we're making exceptions, they're making us stronger. Is it a good answer to your question?
Okay.
1 day a week, yes, you can do that. If you're not sick, if you have cancer, not a good idea. You have to be very strict. And you know, with my one-to-one clients, I'm a very, very strict. I'm a real Russian. Russian. Guys, I want you to ask questions next time.
Okay, well, we didn't.
This is not good. You have to be inquisitive. No stupid questions. You are asking questions. That's why I love you, Steve.
Well, I'm asking questions. I want someone to help me out.
Okay, guys. So.
Okay, but otherwise.
Yeah. And the replay I just that's the replay I just posted. The link to the replay. That's the link to the replays. So it's gonna be there tomorrow.
Okay. Well, it's been really, really most interesting. I think it's a fantastic story, but it's only a part of your protocol.
Okay,
so,
dear.
you know, we've got
Thank you for joining, guys. And
so
I
thank you
look
very
forward
much,
to
Misha.
see you next week. We'll always have sessions on Mondays. If you're not a part of our course, please subscribe on my Twitter, or our Facebook page, or our YouTube channel, whatever. But yeah, or on Blab here.
Right.
So be sure, we're gonna make at least 2 sessions next week. One for athletic performance, one for health and resilience. And I think next week, Steve, we have more work because we're gonna start a course in Danish too, for health and resilience. And then we also have a course for tennis players. And then Russian, then you have a problem.
Okay. All right.
See you. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
Okay, so that's it.